We also need to be able to deal with discontinuous piecewise functions. These are functions where the two functions don't actually join on the graph. There's a gap. And we're going to then need to be able to define which function we're using for which part of our graph. And it's important then to have your open and closed dots. Okay, so let's consider the function f of x equals x squared for x less than 1 and negative x for x greater than or equal to 1. So I've got a parabola and I've got a linear function. And they're saying evaluate f of negative 2. Well, negative 2 is less than 1, so I'm going to use x squared. So I'm going to have f of negative 2 is going to be negative 2 squared, and that's going to be 4. So I've got a point at negative 2 and 4. F of 1, well then I need to look, and I see that this is the function for when x is equal to 1. So I'm going to have negative 1, and that's negative 1. And I have a point 1 and negative 1. And then f of 2 greater than or equal to 1, I'm going to have negative 2. So it's negative 2, and I've got a point there at 2 and negative 2. All right, now it says sketch the graph of y equals f of x and state the domain and the range. All right, I should have done my ruler before. Sorry, that's going to take a bit of time. Okay. All right, there's the ruler off. Okay, so when x equals 1, I need to figure out what's happening. Okay, so when x equals 1, y equals x squared is equal to 1. Okay, so I've got a point there at 1, 1. And I already know that when x equals 1 for my other one, I've got a point at 1, negative 1. All right, and y equals x squared, we know what that looks like. So at x equals 1, I've got a point here, and that's where it ends. So I'm going to have that, and I've got negative 2 and 4 is over there, and that's, I know my turning point is over there. So this is my parabola part, and that looks like that. And then I've got the straight line with a point at 1, negative 1, and that's colored in, and it's got another point at 2, negative 2, so that gives me my straight line. And that one's going on like that. Notice the discontinuity over here. There's a big gap. We call this a discontinuity. And I've got my open circle because on the top function, I'm not including 1 there. If I wanted to find out what was happening at 1, I would have to look at my other function. Okay, so that's y equals negative x. That's y equals x squared. State any value of x for which the function is not continuous. So when x equals 1, there is a discontinuity.